When you want to go, let me know. I'll be right here.
We'll talk later.
Normally, I wouldn't waste my time with the likes of insurgents. And I know he's been here. And for that, all of you will suffer.
Choisek and Mari drew a map to your rendezvous point with Tarful. It's good to see you're safe.
Sorry I couldn't be here sooner, but I haven't given up on Kashyyyk.
It's dangerous here. Saul's already gone. The casualties are just too high.
No. If you leave, the Wookiees lose support.
Not all. Mari is staying behind with Choisek and Tarful. Some of our troops went with them.
And you?
My child already lost one parent. I can't stay. But myself and the others will find a new way to serve the cause.
Be safe, Miriana. Mari said you were overrun. I didn't realize it would be this bad.
It's always this bad with the Empire. But there's still a chance for your quest.
I'll find a way to help you.
You've done more than your share. Thank you, Cal.
Things are going well, aren't they? Hey, BD. Hey, BD.
Cal, do you read me? Sierra gave me your comm frequency.
Mari, are you okay?
I'm safe, unlike too many of the others. Did Mariana give you our rendezvous coordinates?
She did. I'm on my way.
Good. We're just reaching them now, but we can't stay long. The Empire's looking for us.
I'll be there as soon as I can. You make that look easy. Hey, BD, what's this? What you got there? Stay close, BD. Stay close, BD. Those things look fast. Stim, BD?
We can catch him still. Killing everyone. Fire all weapons. Get in there. What's that? Not today, Jedi. Afraid of getting hit? Jedi. Run. You won't survive. Hit me again. Come now, Jedi. Fight. Stand, you coward. An intruder up there.
Confirmed. Try dodging that.
Fire at will. Attack. Taking losses. I'm stepping back. Shoot him. Watch out. Touch this. All right. I can't hit him. Cover me. Enemy. Take that. What are you doing? Can't stop everything. Die, Jedi scum. Yes, be afraid. You scum.
Mari, are you there? I'm almost to the Shadowlands, at the wreck of a walker.
Saw managed to take one out in the escape.
Is he with you?
No, not anymore. We can talk about it when you get here.
Found the target. Hit him already. Watch him! I've got him! Okay, fight me. Slipping past. Don't let up!
Up here! Need an assist! BD, here!
Got stems. Hey, watch that. Killing us.
Keep going! We're almost to the Shadowlands!
Something smells. What is that?
Strength in this sector has been weakened. Fire on the enemy. Watch for you. Don't let him escape.
Let me see. Help me, BD. Little help, BD.
They can't breach our choke point!
Everyone, retreat! We'll cover you!
Ever seen a place like this before? Me neither. Need an assist. trees. I feel the force all around this place. That's where we're supposed to meet Tarful.
Glad you made it. This is Chieftain Tarful.
I'm on a mission from Master Eno Cordova, who was looking for a Zepho artifact. Finding it could help save the Jedi.
Cordova found wisdom at the top of the origin tree. You should seek answers there.
It's massive. I don't even know where to start.
Well, you might be able to find a way up through its root system, but most of it's underwater. You'll need this breather.
Thank you. What will you all do now?
The only thing we can. Keep fighting.
Good luck. Hope we meet again. What happened between you and Saul?
We had a difference of opinion. He thinks the war is lost here.
And you?
I won't leave the Wookiees to suffer alone.
What if Saul's right? What if Kashyyyk can't be won?
The Empire's built on fear and indifference. By banding together, we challenge its very existence. This war is far from over, but it's worth everything to fight it, even if we don't know the outcome.
How'd you become a guerrilla fighter?
I used to be a topographer. Traveled to rule planets, mapping their natural formations.
Sounds exciting.
It was my dream job. Then the Republic became the Empire. The poor became indentured servants. I couldn't sit back and watch it happen, so I joined the cause.
I wish more people felt that way.
Stay alive out there.
The Wookiee took shelter here, mourning the loss of an elder. powerful could keep them out forever. They won't stop until everyone's wiped out. Those things give me the creeps. Whoa, strong words coming from you.
Come on, let's get him.
Jedi, wait. Weapons on him.
Just need to focus.
Do you think the Empire would have come after Kashyyyk so hard if we hadn't intervened? The Jedi are supposed to be symbols of hope, but I led the Inquisition here. Mari and Tarful put their trust in me. Did I just endanger them again?
Identifying an attacker. Come on.
Here, inform the
Hit him already. Hit him. Lose him again. Stay on you. On target. Mind to kill, Jedi.
What's this? A Bronca scrap rat playing Jedi. I told the Grand Inquisitor you wouldn't be stupid enough to show your face here again, especially after we wiped out that feeble resistance. Love it when I'm wrong.
Hang on! What is that thing? The Night Sister's searching for us. I should call. On second thought, she listens to their transmissions. Let's see what you found. Drawer stim! BD, stim here! Shh. We don't know if it's friendly. That's the thing that took down the Night Sister.
Get up. Try again.
Just keep failing, Master.
Do you? Good. Keep failing. Keep getting back up. That is the only way to succeed. Do not allow yourself to be weighed down by ego and pretense. Let go of what you fear to lose and rise up. Now, again. Good. Now reach my position. You can do it. Perhaps I chose the wrong paddle.
Master?
I'm only joking.
Shit. Well. Thanks, Kyle. I've probably been on mute for just under an hour. Shit. Thank you, Kyle. And Kyle, thank you very much for that sub, dude. That's very, very nice of you, man. Well, shit. Yeah, that's a long time to not be saying shit.
Think we can help it?
How are you doing, dude? Let's try the house.
Awful, my old friend. I understand. This tree connects the core.
I can't see shit. Oh, come on. Also, my guy just learned double jump, like all good Jedi should.
I need help. That's so much
Yeah,
better.
well, at least the closed caption's always completely and utterly correct. It's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Doing well, just out of work and decompressing. Nice. And I'm not currently streaming for Korra, but oh fucking hell. Check his shit out if you haven't. What are you up to at the moment, Kyle? I know if you've yeah, if you're out of work, you may not be up for doing any games right now, but I wouldn't mind doing some Duos Rocket League if you fancied it. Nope. Shit. I play once I can relax for like 20 minutes. Fair enough. Yeah, no worries. I'll probably be finishing myself in about an power, but still did it. I haven't played at all, no. Yeah, that's a good point. Probably have some rewards and shit. Actually, did I play last season? I must have, right?
From the Clone Wars. The war never ended here. Everything we did any of it matter?
Yeah, but we just ran over it. Life finds a way, Cal. Oh! I didn't even see that. Oh, I thought it was like a meditation spot here. I saw like a little glowy. Oh, it's up here. Okay. Ugh. How the fuck can we do that one? Hang about. Can we go around here? Oh, what's this? A bug wing.
This bird might be the last of its kind.
How am I gonna just keep running up that? Double jump, maybe. Ah. Fucking hell, eh? Oh, they're putting that bloody fucking double jump to good use straight away. We never got a chance to discuss it, but it was nice to settle out countries are equally good at football. I mean... Christmas Unicorn. I haven't fully listened to that this year yet. That will be my first play on it. Oh shit, I forgot about double jump. I mean, it's tied. But you played your best game, and we played one of our worst, so, you know, just either way, lost in the end. You friendly? You right, buddy?
I can help it, but we have to be careful. I don't want to spook it. Hey! It's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We're friends, understand? Friends.
I'm sure it understands English.
It's okay.
Oof, that's what the issue is.
It's a piece of the Night Sister's ship. We need to remove it. This is gonna hurt, okay?
Yeah, it was cool. Sorry. It was cool watching it. The last time I proper remember England playing, you were saying the World Cup. I think you guys won because of it like rolling between our goalkeeper's legs. Really unfortunately.
Here you go.
Yeah, don't eat me. It's tied because that should go. Okay, right, fair. That was rough as well. That was West Ham's goalkeeper who was playing for England at the time. Yeah, Bird's pretty chill, fun. Pretty chill. Oh, double jump just changes everything, man.
You want to look inside? What's that, BD? Got something?
My friend,
huh.
Never have I seen a view more exquisite than atop this tree.
Oh, yeah, it's alright. Let's say. Was that it? Is that all I had to say? Waste man. Do I go this way? What way did I come in? I assume it's this way. Alright. Oh man, I have a proper vivid memory too. I remember us. Hey, Ernie baby! How you doing, dude? You Christian Unicorn and no Chris Smash stand as a slip.
Giving us a lift?
Oh hello! I didn't even realise we were on it. Nice. Shut up, the Colossus style on that. But yeah, I remember being in a pub for that game, completely packed. Everyone was pissed up, and then the mood just went sour. No fights or anything. Just what was a good start was. Ugh.
There's still so much the Empire hasn't touched.
Damn, thank God we didn't have to go this whole way ourselves. It's been taking ages. Well, it's pretty neat, isn't it? See, that's the problem, man, and you're trying to request something that's not using. Oh, this is lovely. Nothing will ruin a mood more than Thai in America. I mean, we got knocked out by France. Although they're a very good team, I guess, so. I thought I had clapping. Yeah, it sounded like clapping, didn't it? Has he flown us all the way to Mordor? Mordor. Whatever one was closer. Mordor. I'm gonna stab it and take its essence. Or at least take a feather. Be worth a decent amount in the black market. Where'd he go? Mate? Huh. Let's interact. New lightsaber sleeve acquired. Oi oi. Can I use this bench? I can. Wow, I got a few new things on this, I think. So we'll keep the colour orange because it matches his hair. Nothing new there. Don't know if that's a new one or not. I don't know any if these are new ones or not. Peace and justice. Let's get passion and strength. Fuck it. That material. Bronzium. Let's go for bronzium. Yeah. How's holiday shopping go? Oh, pretty easy, man. Like, I don't really. Me and most of my family were all at that age where we were like, don't worry. Like, we want anything, we'll get ourselves it. And me and my girlfriends don't buy for each other, so that's all good on that front. So yeah, I don't have to worry. I brought my niece something already.
Looking for something?
We got to buy something for Felicia's niece and nephew. And then boom, baby, done. Oh, of course, Carl. Yeah. Oh, you know, you already know.
At last, I found my quarry. The Astrium. Used by the Zepho sages millennia ago.
Where are they getting the batteries?
I hold in my hand a piece of galactic history.
Good for you, you're a hologram.
Oh, I will never be able to thank Tarful enough.
He's really tearful about what Tarful did, right?
Do you know what this means, my friend? No need to return to Dathomir.
Oh, sick.
Darkness clouded every attempt at finding the Astrium inside Kujit's tomb, but the Force has provided a new path.
Go on, Force. Hold on.
Kujit's tomb.
What? I have to turn around now? Am I still going forward? No, I'm still going forward. Alright, I'll meditate. A little sleepy. And then back that way, I'm guessing? Yeah, over here somewhere to do something. Climb the origin tree. That's what I was doing. Yeah, can you just take me to the top, bro? Or are you... Is that your plan now? I'm all muddy now. It would be quite fun if it ate me. Whoa! Whoa! Motherfucker! Who shoots a bird? Oh shit, ninth sister.
Found you again!
You're done hurting this world.
I don't know if she is.
Got second sister thinking you're
I doubt
so
I'm gonna do this
important.
first time, so.
She likes her souvenirs, but I'm not in it for the memories, and honestly, you're not worth my time.
You've saved your life right before being eaten.
Let's make
it's true,
this
but
quick.
I've always kind of wanted to know what Cheerios felt like. Ninth sister, fucking you up. Oh. Hello, I've got your special powers.
to scratch.
You did. Could you stop that, you dick?
Come back here.
I was moving anyway. So to know what Cheerios feels like is how you can have a feel for this. Cheerios have a hole, so I don't know how I'd, so I'd feel, you know, even more.
difference?
I'd feel even more like a Cheerio if I had a hole inside me too. Oh, you feel you're bad? You bad? You bad, are you? Let's go, fam. Oh shit, actually that was pretty bad. Oh, fucking hell, that was a bit much.
I thought you put up more of a fight.
Help me, BD.
You're not winning this.
Oh, fucking hell, that was close. Oh, that was close. I mean, a hit.
Little help, BD.
Oh, motherfucker! How dare you?
Help, please.
I forgot I could do that. Oh shit, right into it. Oh, wrong button, wrong button. Put more of a fight, help me! Fuck off with that shit.
I'd be scared of me too.
Oh, do me. Oh, come on.
Time to find the others.
Go find the others. You goddamn piece of shit. Maybe I'll stop me halfway through the fight. No. Alright. This character didn't have a really cringe last line. Get him. Oh, I froze you. You can't do me doing that shit.
That was nothing.
Could you not do that shit? Oh, come on, I dodged that.
Hey, BD.
Just stop that. Stop jumping around so much. Should be.
I'd be scared of me too. Just a scratch.
Tis but a scratch.
Nice
Oh, I thought it got
sound to
away.
it, don't you think?
BD, here. Up here. Toss me one, BD.
Kill me, you shit.
BD.
Oh shit.
Pathetic.
Oh fuck, that was pretty bad, you're right.
Help, BD.
Oh fuck me.
We're nearly done here.
Oh fuck. Hell, I was so close to getting him too. That was close. That was annoying. Yeah, that's it. 7 more tries. That's fine. And going well. How you doing, Bex, dude? Yep, started off strong there. And not bad, Bakura, dude. You've played this game, so you remember certain bits. But I did earlier on in the stream. I did the mission where you have to fight like in a. You get kidnapped and have to fight in like a cage match type shit. Just forget about them doing it like that. Oh, motherfucker.
BD, I need help.
Oh, come on. I hate when it gets that. Oh, fucking hell.
Help, BD.
Oh, fucking hell. Didn't you beat already?
Toss
No.
me one,
Well, I'm just gonna fail this one, I think. Yeah, there we go. I like how for the future matchups he just chills and waits for you to return and fight again. I know, right? Well, you want to play Raft, I can come off Overwatch. Well, I've probably only got about 40 minutes left. I was saying to Carl about doing some Rocket League, potentially, if he's up for it. He went in about 20 minutes or so, but that was about maybe 20 minutes ago. Yeah, up to you. Probably won't get too much time on Raft anyway, really. But could do some Rocket League if you fancy it. I'm going to beat this person on this round, obviously. Oh, come on! I shouldn't... I need to learn to not do that move straight away. I'll waste some of my shit. I go to freeze him straight away and then...
Felt that. I'd be scared of me too.
Shit. Actually, I needed that, thanks.
Train to save you this time.
You trained?
Pathetic.
Fucking hell, that was
Chance
perfect.
to surrender.
Alright, I surrender, but that was an option.
Another stiff.
Oh, fuck me.
Help me, BD.
Scared of getting burned?
Of course I am. Remarkable for Jedi's fireflies how they bounce back from accumulating heat. Exactly.
Almost felt that. Stim, BD.
Oh, fucking hell, I couldn't get out, do the stim and get out of time. Oh, shit. Oi! Made them use their hands. Now it's definitely a Star Wars. It's over. Fucking hell. Fucking hell.
Being an Inquisitor taught me no secret is too great.
Can we finish off?
When
Thanks,
you've
Jesus.
already lost yourself.
You do Rocket League next time? Alright, sweet.
Easy. You know, I was a Jedi. It'd be fun to bring you in.
Like,
watch you crack like
so
the
if you
rest
don't
of
realise,
us.
buddy, am I going to have to keep fighting this no mark
You.
with one
Just
hand?
wait till the isolation, torture, mutilation, and your breath!
I won't let you touch them.
You can't stop the Empire!
I can stop you.
Chop off the other hand.
We just took down an Inquisitor.
Not yet, we haven't. We just pushed him for a tree. Tree being pushed for a tree doesn't kill him. Hey, buddy's back.
I thought you were dead.
But Carl, after this cutscene bit, do you fancy doing some Rocket League? How you feel?
Glad you're okay.
No pressure.
We should get back. Seer and Grease are expecting us.
If the tree hits you, if you hit a tree, how are you gonna die? Jesus. But you'd rather like 10 more minutes. Okay, no worries, sounds cool. Cool. Whee! I might also have a quick piss. Right, so we can do that one, which I don't want to do. That one, which I don't want to do. Oh yeah, that's a cool one. Max Life Force. Powerful pull that yanks groups of enemies. I don't know if I can handle groups of them, bloody hell. Max Life. Additional health when you from the stim. When performing a precision fade. Oh shit, Jimmy, my man! Thank you very much for the sub there, dude. How are you? Thanks, Amika, my dude. Thanks, Jimmy, dude. It's a dude like 12 times there. From precision of aid, Cal briefly slows enemies and recovers a small amount of force. Oh, that one sounds pretty good. Performs a special attack while switching his lightsaber type. Oh, waiting long to press attack after Cal swings his double-bladed lightsaber allows him to form a continuous string of high damage attacks. Increases all lightsaber damage. Throws the double-bladed lightsaber in the area around Cal. Oh yeah, that one sounded really cool. I could slow one around me. But throw the double-bladed lightsaber in the area. Okay. Let's give us more max life force. What's this deal now? Find Astrum on Dathomir. Oh, so I've got to get back to the thing. Okay. Where are you going? Oh dear.
Think we can slice this thing? Want to check it out?
How you doing, Jimmy man?
Oh, you found something.
You poncho, hey. Do we want to go up there? Yeah, we do. It's going back to Dathomir. We're doing a lot of back and forth at the moment. Should have got like a travel card.
Did you see movement?
Nerds. There is a spider over here. Yep. It's behind me, actually. I'm saving your own life for you here, buddy. Better you die that way. Ah.
You can't block forever.
Of course I can. Does he not know what Jedis do? Jesus. Whatever, buddy. You keep with it. One of you nerds. Can I just run past you? Oh! Oh, that was a pretty good shot. I'm guessing that wasn't the way. This way. Ow, shit.
Now, BD. BD, stim here.
No, I just can't move.
Help me, BD.
He's distracted. No more distractions. Empire strengthens me. Feeling the pressure. Succumb to your wounds.
Oh, I do have some wounds, you're right.
Hey, BD.
Fucking hell. What am I? Ready whenever. Okay, nice. Cool, cool. You need to lure his enemy to a tree to really kill him. That's true. Okay, hopefully I can save once I'm up here, actually. I'm very much stuck in a corner. Its nose is grinding. But then, sweet. I will have a quick piss before I leave. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
What's that noise? I'm stepping back. Hit him! I can't hit him. Someone? Anyone? Help!
Oh bless.
Stop moving and fight.
What a dickhead.
Can't take a hit.
Could you move over?
Angela Davis mustache
You did get me, yeah. Richard Pryor shortcut fade having around the side, motherfucker. You Samuel Davis, a Roy Jr. Afro haircut, having ass, motherfucker. Ooh, dynamite disco Danny devastating. Ooh, Duncan Davis with a haircut having.
That's a brawler droid processing unit. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Seems like the barlow, but that man was ready. That's true. He did do really well. What can you do now? You could dance before, so don't give me that shit. Fucking hell, that was close. Slice security droids where they're stunned. Get up there, you two.
Things are going well, aren't they?
Come on, let's get him.
Oh shit, it's a lot of you.
Charge forward. Not an easy target.
Oh Jesus. got to a meditation point. The oldest trick in a book. Meditate, and they can't get you. Yeah. Okay, right. So, I'm going to quit out of this. And I'm going to quickly go have a piss. And then when I come back, Carl and I will do some Rocket League. Kick some ass.